Hello, I'm Dr. Malik Raheem, Assistant Professor at California State University, Fresno, also known as Fresno State. Recently, with the Black Lives Matter movement, there's been a lot of emphasis on how Black people or people of African descent are being treated by law enforcement and being murdered and killed. More recently, one of my colleagues down at San Diego State, Dr. Luke Woods, he created a program called Black Minds Matter. And in that program, he discusses how Black students have trials and tribulation going through higher ed and trying to be successful. Well, here I want to talk about some of the trials and tribulations some of the Black students have. And in this video, you're going to see some testimonials of some of the issues that Black students have, from stereotype threat, imposter syndrome, racial microaggressions, and racial battle fatigue. All these things hamper the success rate of Black students and destroy some of the graduation rates. What we would like to do is formulate a model, a psychosocial mental health model, that will help the Black students battle some of these issues and racism that follow them through higher ed. So please sit back and enjoy the testimonials.
Hi, my name's Savannah. I'm an undergraduate student, major in psychology, minor in chemistry. I've actually had a few. One of the main ones I could talk about is mainly what happens kind of like on the daily, and I work on campus as well. And one of the stories that I have to contribute is normally when I answer the phone, I'm really professional and I'm really like outgoing and uppity, I would say. And there was this woman on the phone, she had questions, and she stated that she was going to come to campus with documents. And I clearly said, oh yeah, like you can come, our office number is available, and I gave her all the information that she needed. And when she had came in the office, she had asked, oh, I'm looking for Savannah. And when I told her that I was Savannah, it was like a 5-second gap of, As she was a Caucasian lady, so I wasn't surprised that she was surprised that I was working in the office that I was in. And that happens to me a lot. I mean, I can't really justify why they think a person like me couldn't work in that stature or that academic level, but they do. And another coincidence I would say is mainly in classroom settings. Normally, the demographics at this campus are not Black-based. Our percentages are low when it comes to African American students. So a lot of times when I walk in class, I am the only face of my color. And I take a lot of psychology classes, so it's a lot of discussion based. And when it comes to like race questions or ethnicity questions, I feel like the professors they stare at me and want me to say my opinion because I'm the only African American student in the classroom. And that makes me feel uncomfortable just a tad. I mean, I want to express my opinions because I am the only race in there, just to get a broad discussion, but that always makes me feel uncomfortable. I feel like you don't have to dart your eyes towards me just to get my opinion because I'm the only African American student in the classroom.
My name is Brandon, and I'm a grad student at a clinical rehabilitation and mental health program. I was working for the theater arts department at the school, and I was doing usher work. And I had been working there for about 6-7 months. I had done it over semesters, and for this particular occasion, they asked me to come stand outside and direct traffic to where they can go purchase their tickets. Now, I was a part of a group. It was myself and 3 other female students. Myself being the only minority, the other 3 were Caucasian. And we were outside and we were directing traffic. Well, I noticed at some point that campus security began circling around, just I guess checking things out. And I didn't think anything of it because I had done it before and I had no issues with it. But, I kind of, could feel a little bit weirded out by it because they kept coming by. And then out of nowhere, one of the campus security guys came up to me and he asked me, well, what are you doing? And me, being dressed in all black with a little usher name tag on with my name on it, I said, oh, well, we have a play tonight and I'm working the parking lot to make sure the cars know where to go to get their parking ticket. And when he heard that, I was talking to him, but he kind of was like, off, and he's like, well, do you have any identification? And that kind of took me back immediately because, I have the full uniform on. I'm out here, holding this sign, seems like a long way to go to do some sort of sinister thing, but I kind of still wasn't thinking much of it, but I just wanted to question. I was like, well, what's the issue here? I've done this before. He said, well, we've received reports that, someone's been taking people's money and making them park, without paying the right way or something. And the way he said it just seemed kind of off to me. And I said, well, that doesn't make sense because this sign is just directing traffic to where they need to actually park, not, taking money from them. So it was around this time that a second school uniformed officer pulled up. And that was really strange because it kind of put me way off my, I'm usually kind of even keel, but just seeing that really threw me off because, I'm just holding a sign, and based on where I was standing, they had to have crossed at least one or two other Caucasian girls who were also in all black, also had name tags, who were doing the exact same thing with the exact same signs. So at that point, I became very annoyed, extremely kind of, out of it. And I gave the guy my ID. He checked it. And once he gave my ID back, I just walked off. And he started talking to me. He was like, well, it's not a racial thing. And I just turned back and I said, you're crazy. You had to have went past one or two other Caucasian students to get to me. What else could it be? And he just didn't have an answer for that. So I just walked off. I returned to the theater box office and I told him I would never stand out there again. I continued to work at the theater, but I never had to go back out there again. But that was just one of the larger aggressions I had while at this university.
My name is Clark, and I'm a student affairs college counseling major. It actually took place when I was in grad school, and it was my last year of grad school. And I was just having a conversation with a friend, I would say a close friend, and also a classmate. And we were just having a discussion because I got hired for 2 positions during the summer, and I was just trying to figure out which one I should choose. And I know that her husband had experience working in one of the programs that I wanted to go into. And she was just going on saying like, oh, well, do a pros and cons list. And, I wouldn't worry about it because you're just so lucky because you're a beautiful black girl and you're brilliant and smart and anybody would be willing to hire you. And I was just like, okay, thank you. And after I kind of left, I really had time to think about it. And I thought about it, and being African American, I go through microaggressions every day because people instantly look at me and automatically assume that I'm either ghetto or I'm a mad black woman. But for her to say, oh, because I'm a beautiful black woman, I'll get a job anywhere, what does that necessarily have to do with me getting a job? We're in the same program together, and you're further along this program, and something that we learn in the counseling program is about microaggressions and learn how to be multicultural competent. And for her to be further along in the program than me, and I've already taken multicultural, it kind of left me with an impression like you're basing me getting a job off of being black and being pretty and not being smart and competent and knowledgeable about the job. So it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And, I always thought about maybe going back to her and having that conversation and telling her about how I felt. But then, that's something on me. I didn't correct her in the moment. And, things like this, it still shocks my mind that it still goes on today, but then in a way it doesn't.